I won't like it.
Speaking of farting on snare drums, you don't do that with your rig, but
No.
yeah, like let's tell us a little bit about your rig, man. You like a baritone guitar,
Yeah,
which you don't see very often, a banjo, your burlap amp, which we've talked about a little bit, and then you've got this whole crazy schnoz going on here, which you can't really see the effects pedals right now, but when we're actually going live with the music, you'll be able to see them.
I've got, for a while I had, there's a great device called an Arduino Boy that uses an Arduino to create a MIDI sync signal from or to the Game Boy. And for a while I had it synced with my delay pedal, which is MIDI capable. But it became kind of unnecessary, so I stopped using that. But I've got here a tuner and a fuzz box that I built. It's actually kind of it's a complicated looking pedal board, but the main thing is that there's a little mixer. There's a little mixer on it. But the baritone guitar is something that I just needed to get deeper than when I was playing the traditional guitar. And for a while I was playing, I have a 4-string bass that's tuned down like a 5-string bass. Okay. Like the bottom.
The low B. Okay.
Which I love. I still play that instrument a lot, but it's very heavy. It's made of aluminum and lucite. There's photos of me playing it at the first couple Matthew Joseph Payne shows. Oh man,
I wish you'd brought some of those photos with you. It's you never know.
Yeah, it's also it's just horrendously heavy, and I play it through an SVT, which is also horrendously heavy. So I've trimmed back a little bit, but the baritone guitar just allows me to get and also all the songs are written.
It was easier to like make it. It was easier to make this lighter than to get to the gym and work out, so everything wouldn't be as heavy.
Precisely. All right. The banjo is a thing that was custom built by another banjo player for himself, and I wound up having the opportunity to buy it. It's made from parts of banjos. And
so it's a Franken banjo?
Pretty much. And it's got the extra 2 tuners on the... Actually, I'll just grab it. Yeah. The extra 2... I'm attached to a thing.
Technical stuff.
So it's got these extra 2 tuners on top that change the tuning from a G tuning to a D tuning.
That's insane.
I only use it between songs currently, but a lot of like bluegrass guys will use it in lieu of retuning, because then it goes back consistently every time.
Yeah.
It's also got the sort of capo hooks on the 5th string, actually, which are...
Okay, your banjo is... You officially have one of the most insane banjos I've ever seen.
Yeah, so when I go into the D tuning, the 5th string can follow.
I've never been so jealous of a banjo in my life. I like this setup now. I feel like it's just old-timey bloops and bleeps with Blake and that.
Old-timey bloops and bleeps.
Yeah. For those of you just tuning in, this is Bloops and Bleeps, a show about music and video games. I'm your host, Blake Morris, and of course we are interviewing good old-fashioned Matthew Joseph Payne today. Yeehaw! Just down-home country style. That's how we do it here.
Well, I work with them Game Boys.
Programming them their synthesizers with their music. So, so let's talk about your other band, the Glowing Stars, which is pretty much just you and one other person. You've got a very minimalist thing going on here. With band members.
In duets is great. Being in duets is great because you have energy. Like when I'm playing solo, like it's like I have to really work to keep the energy up. But when I'm in a duet, I have someone to feed off of. But once you have 3 people, scheduling rehearsals gets twice as hard. And then I was in a band recently, a great band, All My Pretty Ones, that had 7 people.
All My Pretty Ones? Oh my God, I've done a show with them before,
really?
Like years ago.
Yeah, well, the band's changed a lot, and I actually joined that band as the drummer. And then I wound up doing so much other stuff that we had to get a drummer.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wonder if you were at the show we did. This was years ago. It was in Oakland at that old art place. Kate Dumfries?
Yeah. She was managing the band.
Yeah. She booked my band Apple Pie Hopes to play with them. It was very folksy. I think I think Union or Ukulele was playing that night too.
Kind of rings a bell.
No, it was a backyard like barbecue thing at the living room. That's where it was.
Absolutely. No, wait, no,
Yeah.
I never played any living room shows. There was a backyard barbecue show that I remember that was in Oakland that was, or no, there were a couple. There was one that was like across from Mama Buzz. There's another one.
It wasn't that one.
That was like.
It was like down further near the Ashby BART station.
Okay, I think I remember that maybe.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Well, small freaking world, dude.
Small world,
hey, that was our little moment. That really had nothing to do. That wasn't for you, internet.
It was related. I was in this band, All My Pretty Ones. It had 7 people in it, and scheduling rehearsals is insane.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And but with Lizzie and I, we pretty much go like, oh, we got some shows, we probably rehearse. When are you free?
Yeah.
And we just kind of put it together.
Yeah.
We actually started the band just sending stuff to each other over the internet, even though we're not that far from each other. It was just easier to be like, here's some Game Boy tracks. Here, I recorded some guitar over it. Okay, here, I played some drums over it. So
it's just kind of a back and forth, like when you compose.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like composing? Is it always different composing for your solo stuff?
Well, yeah, this project, a bunch of the music that I have here right now predates chiptune as a part of my solo stuff. So I've redone it to work in this setting. So a lot of that was written, like I have a couple songs that were actually written for one of my bands to play, and then I have a couple songs that were written for other ensembles to play, and then I have a bunch of stuff that was written on the Game Boy specifically for this setup. Writing for the Glowing Stars, we've always had a consistent idea of how we want the layout to be. This Matthew Joseph Payne changes all the time. I still do shows sometimes with no Game Boy. I'll play an acoustic show or something. Nice. But Glowing Stars has always been like, there's the Game Boy, and we know the role that it plays. It's filling in for the bassist, and it's filling in for the keyboardist, and it's kind of the second guitar also. Nice. And so, it
makes it easier to define all the parts.
We have a clear idea of what we're going for when we start writing a song usually.
You're focused on the prize, eye on the prize, 1,000 points of light everywhere. You're good.